My name is Vishnu Gopal TV. I am a legal intern at Lexus & Company. I am from Cooperative School of Law, Kerala. I am a third year student pursuing BBA LLB Honors. So today's topic for this video is independent tortfeasors and joint tortfeasors. So the purpose of this video is to speak about independent tortfeasors and joint tortfeasors. So we know that independent tortfeasors and joint tortfeasors are the two important things that has to be analyzed. So when the acts of two or more persons acting independently concur to produce a single damage, then it is known as independent tortfeasors. So there is no concerted action on the part of in this independent tortfeasors. So even though there may be a similarity in the design on their part, they have acted independently on one another. So we can look into an example of this independent tortfeasors. So that means when two drivers driving negligently and coming from the opposite directions collide and a pedestrian was crushed between the two cars, here the two drivers have acted independently or independent of one another, and therefore it is independent tortfeasors. So the case that has to be analyzed here is a cause case, that is in 1924 case, and here it is an important case that which deals with the concept of this independent tortfeasors. And here in this case, due to negligence of the two ships, they collided with each other, and as a consequence of the same, one of them ran into and it sank a third person. It was held to be only independent tortfeasors, and it is not at all joint tortfeasors. So joint tortfeasors have to be also looked into. So joint tortfeasors means when two or more persons are said to be in joint tortfeasors when the wrongful act which has resulted in a single damage was done by them not independent of one another but in furtherance of a common design. So when two or more persons engaged in a common action and one of them in the cause and in furtherance of that commits a tort, both of them will be considered to be as joint tortfeasors and is liable for the same. So the case law that has to be looked into here is Brooke versus Bull. Brooke versus Bull is an important case that has to be looked into. So in Brooke versus Bull, A and B entered into Z's premises to in search of the escape of the gas, and each one of them in turn applied naked light into the gas pipe, but A's application resulted in an explosion causing damage to Z's premises. And here even though A's application of naked light resulted in explosion, both A and B are held liable because here it is joint tortfeasors and the liability is joint and several. So if an agent does a wrongful act in the course of employment, both the principal and the agent will be held liable as a joint tortfeasors. So and similarly, if a servant commits a wrongful act in the course of employment, the master and the servant both will be held liable for joint tortfeasors, and one of the partners commits a wrongful act during the course of business, all the partners will be held equally liable along with the wrongdoer. So that's about the joint tortfeasors. So the liability of joint tortfeasors is joint and several, and the plaintiff has the right to sue any one of them, some of them or all of them in an action, and each one of them can be made to pay the full amount of compensation. So that means for the wrongful act done by the agent, both the principal and the agent are jointly and severally liable, and also for the wrongful act committed by the servant and the master will be held jointly and severally liable. So and also for the wrongful act which is being done by one of the partner during the course of business, the partner who have done this wrongful act and other partners will be also held liable jointly and severally. So that's all about this joint tortfeasors and independent tortfeasors. Therefore we have analyzed in detail regarding this concept of this independent tortfeasors and joint tortfeasors. So that's all about the topic. So you can like, you can subscribe, and you can comment on my video, and do like and subscribe our YouTube channel Let's Click, and please give me a feedback regarding this video. And if you have any questions relating to this, you may please comment that question in the comment box, and I will be answering as soon as possible. So this video does not solicit any types of promotion or advertisement as per the guidelines of Bar Council of India, and the sole purpose of this video is for educational purposes only. So by saying these words, I'm concluding. Thank you.